Our top story this week involves some excitement that took place last Friday night. Uh, here's our report.
Last Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Vero Beach was struck by violent thunderstorms. And they cleared out about 6 o'clock. And about two teenage boys from the neighborhood here decided to go night fishing. So they come down at 10 o'clock at night to to this boat ramp. It's the Oslo Road boat ramp, and they launched their skiff and went out for a night's fishing. Well, what happened was that in the middle of the night, about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, a violent storm came up. Now, they didn't show up at home they didn't show up at home at all on Saturday morning. And 11 o'clock, their parents got pretty worried. And what they did was to call the Indian River Police, Indian River County Police. The county police immediately involved the St. Lucie County Police and the United States Coast Guard. They looked out here on Indian River Lagoon and couldn't find them. Then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they got a ping from a cell phone, one of the boys' cell phones, and they located them on an island down the Indian River Lagoon opposite Round Island. That's about 8 miles away. And of course, they recovered the boys. What had happened was at 2 or 3 in the morning, a violent storm came up, a squall, and the boat capsized, sunk, and they managed to swim to this little island. Now, what I can't figure out, and I haven't seen anybody to give an explanation of this, is how the cell phone could ping and they didn't make a phone call. And the police have issued no explanation for that, nothing at all. Luckily, the two boys, both 19 years old, were recovered quite safely, and it's a poser, but they're back home safely. And that was a little bit of excitement here on Saturday at Indian River County.
Yeah, still no explanation for how the iPhone was able to ping, but they couldn't or didn't make a phone call. Anyway, those two kids are safe. Now, also in Vero Beach news, there's a pet missing, and the pet is called a Chicolina. Here's what the pet looks like. And if you happen to have seen it, and by the way, I mean, it could be anywhere on the East Coast. If you've seen it, please let me know. I will forward that information to the owner of the Chicolina and let her know that one of our weekly recap viewers found it. And by the way, in the past, the weekly recap viewers have been very successful in finding things. Now, the reason that I'm asking you to notify me and not the owner directly is that the owner is really concerned about personal privacy. And I've agreed to sort of funnel reports to her. So here's my email. If you've seen the Chicolina, email me. Now, you're saying, what is a Chicolina? It looks to me like a chicken. Unfortunately, when I was speaking with the owner, I neglected to say, what kind of a thing is this? And I don't know, it could be a really big South Carolina chickadee. I'm not sure. I don't know. But have you seen this thing? It's pretty distinctive. Please send me an email, let me know, and I'll pass it on to the owner. Now, you may recall a few years ago, I ran a little knowledge segment where I explained that you could find where the gas tank is on your car simply by looking at the arrow that's next to your fuel gauge. And, a thought that occurred is why why do gasoline caps end up on either side of a car? What's the reason for it? Well, let me explain. It fundamentally it has to do with the layout of all the stuff that's on the undercarriage of a car. At one time they had the gas cap behind the license plate, the real license plate, and they stopped doing that, and that was for safety reasons because people were getting into rear-end collisions, and having the gas tank right there more or less contributed to some safety problems. Now, people who have it on the passenger side of the car, their stated reason for doing this was that if you've got to get out, you run out of gas on the road, and you got to get out, and you got to fill the tank with a gas can. The driver's side is going to be the side closest to traffic, and it'd be safer if you were filling the car, getting a jug of gas into the car from the passenger side. Now, I don't know if you can believe that. I mean, but the real reason that it's on the driver's side is because it's a shorter cable run from the latch that's under your dashboard that goes to that releases the thing on, the little cover on the gas cap. So anyway, I hope that explains that. And once again, if you're unsure where the gasoline tank is, just look at your fuel gauge. There's an arrow there on every car. Now, I'm going to close this out, but I'm going to say that I'm going to include at the end some footage that didn't quite make it into this report. Maybe you'd call them outtake. I've never done this before, so we'll see how successful it is. In the meantime, take a look at the outtakes, and I hope you have a nice weekend. See you next week. Hi. I just saw your post on the Vero Community Bulletin Board about the missing Ciccolina. And I'm calling to find out if you have any objection to my featuring that on my weekly news program. It'll come out on Friday. It's called the Weekly Recap. I've got a pretty big audience, and they're very good at finding stuff, very good. Well, I can understand why you'd prefer privacy. I'll tell you what, if you'd let me feature this in my news, I'll be happy to screen any of the tips or reports that come in, so that you're not bothered by any junk. And I can tell you, my subscribers are very, very responsible. All right? So, okay, I've got your contact information, and you may want to check out the recap this Friday. Thank you. See you on the video. Take care.
Last Friday afternoon in...
What kind of data you collecting?
Say again?
What kind of data you collecting?
I'm not collecting data. I'm shooting a little video.